Hello, this is Goku48071, and I'm here to do a podcast with.
Larry.
Okay. Now, we are going to talk all about the Nintendo Direct that just came out. We kind of have a differences of opinions here, so this is actually going to be kind of fun, because somebody liked it, and somebody probably thought it wasn't very good. So, I'll go second. What are your general thoughts? Not particular games, just generally what did you think about their presentation and how well they did?
I thought there were some parts they did really well, but I figured they raised the bar a little too high at the beginning when they announced Luigi's Mansion 3, because that brought a whole sense of this direct is going to be amazing. Like, every single part is going to be huge, and there were parts that they did really well, but overall, I think that setting it was not a smart idea. That was probably something that they needed to announce at the end. But I feel like if they hadn't have done that, my expectations wouldn't have been so high, and I wouldn't have felt so let down.
Okay,
With it.
so let's get into that. Let's get into Luigi's Mansion. And I will say my opinion throughout because I think we have a really good starting point here. And the first thing I'm going to say before we get into Luigi's Mansion, really good start, is this is actually a type of a style that's actually really good. And what that is that your first and last announcement are big, and then everything else is in the middle. It's either small or medium. And the reason why is you've built up anticipation, so you want to see what's next, and then you leave the audience with something to talk about. Every announcement can't be huge. Every announcement can't be groundbreaking. And so it's a way of having, like, you're not going to have a 35-minute direct where every single announcement is huge. So you pace it, and you give us something in the beginning, so we stay with you, but then you give us something at the end, so we keep talking. And I feel they did that very well. Now, my general opinion before we get into that is that this was not the direct for me, but this was the direct for a lot of people that I know, and I'm happy they got their direct. I'm happy that people that I know got the games they wanted. I have somebody on Facebook who she loves Animal Crossing. I'm sure she's excited. I don't know if she has a Switch, but now she probably has a reason to go buy one. And so it's that idea of, yeah, these games might not be for me. I might not buy all these games, but at least they're for the people who like them. Okay, so what's your general thought on Luigi's Mansion, the first big game? What was your thoughts on it?
Oh, Luigi's Mansion, that was probably one of, if not the best thing that was announced at this direct. I've never played Luigi's Mansion, in my opinion. Well, I haven't done that. I'm going to pick up the 3DS game because I've been meaning to pick it up. And now that they announced Luigi's Mansion 3, I'm so hyped to get into this game. Honestly.
I've played the first one, beat it. Never played the second one. Mainly because it was on the 3DS. I just wasn't interested in that. But I am absolutely hyped for this. Or I'm not hyped. I'm excited to see what they do. And from what I've heard, the second one isn't like in a single building. This one seems like it's going to be in like a hotel. And it's going to be much bigger. And I hope they go really big with it. But I actually did enjoy it. I did enjoy what I played of it years ago. So yeah. Any other thoughts on Luigi's Mansion?
I don't think so. I'm just so excited to pick up this game.
Okay.
And I think the 3DS one will definitely hold me over until 3 comes out.
Yeah. And it's coming out next year, so.
Yeah, that's a lot sooner than I could have imagined.
Yeah. Now, the next thing we're going to bring up, and we're just going to make this one big chunk, okay? Because They did it. We're gonna do it. 3DS. Nothing big there was for me. I don't think I'm picking up any of these games. I'm not super interested in them. And to me, it's just the system is dying, and here's a few scraps. What did you think?
I'm just shocked they haven't killed off the 3DS already. It's been going on for far too long, and the Switch is like it's the 3DS. The point of it was to be a portable console, and now the Switch is here, so there's really no point for the 3DS to be here anymore.
Absolutely.
I wasn't happy with any of the announcements that they made. I wasn't, every time I come on, they're always saying 3DS and Switch titles. I'm like, oh, if this is a 35-minute direct, they're probably gonna do like 5 minutes of 3DS stuff because that console is dying.
And that's what they did. It was about 5 minutes. And once they lost Pokemon, it was over. Like, there's nothing there. Like, what excites me?
The only thing that would have excited me was if they announced like a Super Metroid remake for the 3DS only, and that's about it.
Yeah. We can absolutely get into that. I'd love to, and an announcement here. I'd love to do a Metroid podcast with you in the future, but let's get on to that because they didn't have any Metroid announcements, so we're not going to talk about Metroid here because there's really nothing to talk about. Nothing big was announced. Okay, so from now on, we're just, until we get to the last big announcement, we're going to pick and choose the big things. We're not going to talk about every game that was announced. So what was a game that you were interested in? What was something in the middle of the direct that you had some interest in?
Not just one game, but multiple games. The Final Fantasy series coming to the Switch.
Okay, we can talk about this for a while, because that was my big thing as well. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, and if I'm not mistaken, you haven't played any of these games other than 15, correct?
15 and 7.
Okay, so there's a chunk there that you just can go into. Like, you can pick and choose and have so much fun, right?
Right, and these are all coming out, I assume, at about the same time, so I can just be like, okay, I haven't played this one, I'm gonna do this one, then I'll do this one, and then, like, I'll be set for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, well, no, they all have different times. I believe Crystal Chronicles is this year. 15 is already out. I believe 12 is coming out this year, and the others are next year, okay?
Yeah.
So, but this was something I think was needed. A lot of people are like, oh, why wasn't 8 here? Well, 8's not even available on PS4, so that's fine. Like, I want them to remake, them to do 8, but I'm actually, and I'm gonna say something here right now. I think 8's getting a remake or a sequel or something, because it's absent. Like, why not do that one? Why skip that one unless you have something in the future to announce, if you know what I mean?
Well, Square Enix has already come out and said after the 7 remake comes out, they're going to be remaking other games in the past.
Yeah. Actually, one of them they've actually talked about remaking is 5 and 6.
I did hear about the 6th one.
Yeah, because they've remade 3 and 4, which are amazing. Go pick those up if you haven't. Those are really well done. And I believe they're both on Steam. So, and those should also be ported. Like, why not port those as well? Because those were really good.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah. Now, because you haven't played, let's just talk about 12, 9, and 10 and 10-2. Out of what you saw, out of the little bit you saw, which one would you, like, if they were all available today, if you could go pick one of those up, which one would you pick up?
Out of every single game that they announced of the Final Fantasy games?
Just the numbered ones, not including 7.
Not including 7?
Yeah.
I'd actually say 12. 12 looked really interesting.
Okay. That's my favorite. You're a Star Wars fan, right?
Semi, yeah.
Okay. This has been called this has been called Star Wars Final Fantasy Edition.
That's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, yeah, absolutely. The second that game is released, go pick it up. It is my favorite Final Fantasy game, and I think you will like it as well.
Yeah, I hope they show off a little bit more before release.
Well, there's like a million trailers, like that game is released. The only thing I hate about that version, okay, it's the Zodiac version. The only thing I hate about that version is they actually changed. So, in the Game of the Year version of Final Fantasy X, they included both versions of the game. And that game didn't really change the game so dramatic, but they still gave you the easier normal version. This version doesn't give you that. It just gives you the Zodiac version of the game, which kind of bugs me because there is no HD version of the PS2 original version. That does not exist. And before you say, well, this is like an enhanced version, of course. Well, the games are different games. Like the battle or how you level up is vastly different between the two versions. Vastly different. They're not the same at all.
So you believe it should be like a 2-in-1 type thing?
Well, I think they should have both options because it's not the same thing. So it's one of these things that it's stupid to not have both versions in it. So, like, if you want to play, it's kind of the same thing they did with the Metroid, the Metroid trilogy, where they just included Metroid Prime trilogy, where they just included the Wii controlled versions of 1 and 2, where 1 and 2 already had normal controls. So that's my big complaint there, to where somebody who wants to experience the game normally would have to get it on their PS2. I don't see the benefit of that. Maybe there is a really good benefit. I don't see it. But other than that, other than that, the game is frankly amazing.
I will definitely be picking it up, that's for sure.
So yes, so with that said, what is the next game on our list?
Well, this is a huge portion. I have my opinions on it, but I want you to go first on this one. The online.
So
the online service.
I can't actually give you my opinion because I haven't. The one big thing about the online has not been released, which is how is that actually going to function online? I've heard stuff like only certain games don't have cloud saves, and just having NES games. But at the end of the day, if my games play well online, I don't care. I really don't care. That stuff can be added later. They can flush it out later. Give me good games.
I agree.
Or give me good gaming experience, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, people have been really, really upset with it. I personally can't get upset with it because if they went out and charged $60 a year for this, I'd probably be upset, but they're only charging $20. So I can't really find it in my heart to be upset with them because, you know, they're giving you NES games, cloud saves, all this stuff. They're not charging that much per year for it. So that's really what I have to say about it. There are going to be some games that are required you're going to need the online service for it, but that's just standard. There's some PS4 and Xbox games that you need Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus for. So, I mean, that just comes without saying, but you're getting this at a cheaper deal. So, if you just do it for games, it's a much better deal than PS4 and Xbox One.
Absolutely. Let's talk about one of the other big announcements, okay? This was huge. Katamari Damacy.
Refresh my memory on what that was again.
Okay, so that's kind of like a puzzle-esque game where basically you are the prince of the universe and your father's made a mess, so you have to go around and you take this ball and you wrap things up in it, okay?
Oh, it was the rolling game that they showed off. Okay.
And people are actually really excited. I haven't played the game per se, but I know a lot of people who have, and everybody I've ever heard played this game love it. And one of the things that I'm hoping is in this, I don't know if it's in this version, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but if it is, I hope they keep it. And that is that they had co-op. But co-op, not split-screen co-op, but where you are controlling the same ball at the exact same time as your partner. And it was hilarious because it's like, if they want to go left and you want to go right, you can't do anything. So you have to actually work together. And I don't know, I haven't done it, but I've heard like hilarious stories about that. So I hope that's in the game.
That would be funny. Now, when I saw it, I had no idea what it was. I've never heard of the game until they showed it. I didn't know it was a big deal, and I didn't know what to make of it. I can see why it would be exciting. Maybe if they release some kind of a demo, I'll pick it up and see what's going to go on, but I don't know if I'll be picking up that game.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the first one, but yet again, it's one of those things I understand. It's probably going to be one of those games that if your friend picks it up, you're going to play it.
Right.
And that's fine. Like, it's one of those things where that happened to be one of the bigger announcements they made because we didn't know it was coming. Like, it was big because we didn't know about it. It was the same thing with, and I still have to pick this one up, Okami, I want to say.
Okay.
Am I saying that right?
Not sure.
About this. Continue on what you want to say.
I can see, like, they explain what the objective was in the game, and I see how it can be exciting. Like, if I had the game in front of me, I would probably be happy to play it, but I don't know if it's a game I would go out and pay for. The game looks interesting. I see the goal. If there's co-op, that's really amazing, but yeah, I don't know if that's a game I'll be picking up.
Sorry, the game that I was referring to is... Yeah, Okami. You play... It is Okami. You play as as one of the Japanese gods, and you basically have a paintbrush, and it's a Zelda-style game.
Okay.
Heard nothing but great things, have not played this game. It's a shame that I've never played this game. And it's one of these things where this was released on the Switch, and it's one of those things where, yeah, it's an old game, but it was a very, very, very well, a game that people loved. So, it's great to hear that a game like that has been re-released on more stuff. So it's that type of thing. That was in one of the other directs, so we're not going to get much into it. Let's see here. What else was? Civilization 6. Any interest in that?
I don't think so. It looks a lot like, you know, most mobile games you can play.
Well, it's not a mobile game. That's a full-fledged that's a full-fledged retail strategy game.
Yeah, I haven't done much research in the game.
Do you
I
know
know
what?
there were rumors going around.
Do you know anything
What?
about the series?
I do not.
Okay. So the series is actually a really cool idea. I've played a little bit of a couple of them. And so the object of the game is that you basically control a nation, okay? And the style of game it is that you can fix settings to change a few things, but the idea of the game is that you start out in like the BC era, and you grow a civilization while other people are growing civilizations, and you have to use democracy to make allies with fellow nations, and you can go to war, and you basically go up to the point of modern age. So you have all of these, like you basically have this development tree, and it's a turn-based strategy game.
Okay.
And so it has like all the major eras in it. It has the Rome era. It has like the Industrial era. It has the Stone Age. It has like all these eras, all these things in it. And basically, you have like this advanced tech tree. It's a really cool idea for a game. And I might actually pick it up because I think this is like a really good game for on the go. So like when I'm as long as it has a really good save feature, this would be something I could pick up, play for 20 minutes and put down because you just continue to do it. Um, so yeah, I am actually really excited for that. But as you said, you don't know much about it, so I'm guessing this is probably going to be another one of those that if you get a demo or if you can play it for free, you might try it out and see if you like it, right?
Probably if there's a demo. But
Yeah.
like listening to what it's about, I can see why people would be excited for this. There's a certain fan base for it. I
Yeah.
see that. But it's probably not the game for me. Now, granted, any demo that comes out, I will play. It could be a good game, so I pick it up and I see if I like it. And
Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is Town. Any opinion on this?
um, what is it? You said was the next one?
Town. Game
Town.
Freaks. Yeah, Game Freaks game called Town. You remember that one?
Uh, oh, yeah, the one that takes place in the town, like
Yeah.
throughout the whole game.
Yes.
It looks pretty good. I'd say I'm on the fence about it. I probably need to see more gameplay
Ab-
for it.
Absolutely. Yet again, it's not going to be called Town. I think it's one of those things where they even said working title. The title is going to change. It's probably one of those things where it's too early for them to reveal it. I think the name is somewhat spoilery, so I think they're going to keep the name a secret until they have to reveal it. I don't think it's just going to be called Town.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have like some. I think it's going to be the town of something um or something related to that. I think town will be in the title, but yes. So I don't
I
think much of us have much to say on it. I think it's too early to really talk about it, but it's really cool. It's a Game Freak game. I think they said it's coming out next year. So the next game we'll talk about is Yoshi's Created World.
I am gonna get a lot of lash for this, but ever since they announced this game, I actually was not excited for it.
Well, I'm right there with you.
I know a lot of people who are so hyped for Yoshi because everybody loves the little green dinosaur, and you always got to pick up the game with Yoshi in it. But I'm not so excited for it. But it's got a fan base, so I'm happy they showed it.
Yep. Absolutely, this isn't the game for me. Um, So yeah. How about Damien X Machina? Any thoughts on that?
I say it's probably going to be a good game.
Okay. I like what it looks like. That's definitely a demo game for me. Like something I want to play a little bit of. Play it for free, see if I like it. It doesn't look very refined, which is not a bad thing. Hopefully it's not a full-priced retail game. Any more opinions on that game?
Um, I don't think so. I think it's going to be another, what was that game? Ender something?
Zone of the Enders.
Yes, I think it looks just like that.
Yeah.
I played the demo for that game on PS4. It was so good. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for that game to come out, and if it's going to be just like that, I'll definitely be picking it up.
Yeah. So, Starlink, Battle for Atlas. Any opinion on that?
I don't know if I have an opinion at this moment. It's probably going to be another Starlink game, and I'm not sure.
Okay.
I want to hear your opinions first.
Not really anything exciting. Not really a big fan of that. So we have a couple more things to run down, and then we'll get to the big announcement. New Super Mario Brothers U. Any opinion on that?
We all saw it coming. It was another Wii U port.
Yeah.
Every direct they bring in a new Wii U port.
That one I thought was the weirdest. I don't know why they did this one. They had another Mario game they should have done. This one I'm not excited for. I've already beaten that game. Mario Tennis Aces. Updates. Any opinion on that?
I was never hyped for that game. I'm not a big fan of the Mario sports games in general.
And I agree with you. Mega Man X, Mega Man 11.
I picked up the demo. I'm definitely getting the game. I'm hype. I got that right as soon as because that game the demo actually dropped before the direct officially came out. I got a notification on my Switch saying it was out. I picked it up, and sure enough, like that game exceeded my expectations. So
Absolutely agree.
I'm
I like the demo. So Splatoon 2, do you play that?
No.
Okay, so probably not much opinion there. And then we have, I believe, one more. We're not going to talk about that one because I don't think either of us care about it. We've already talked about that, so I thought there was one more thing here. Let me just look for a second here. Okay, so yeah, we've talked about everything except for one thing. You wanna? Yep, one last thing.
One thing.
There are new Joy-Cons that look like NES controllers.
Uh,
That was a troll. No, we all know what we're talking about. So what's your opinion on the new Smash character?
I'm sorry to all Animal Crossing fans. Happy you got your announcement, but to me personally, that was a slap in the face.
Okay.
It was rumored. Isabelle was rumored for Smash already. It was going to come. I assumed it was just going to come in like a random Smash Direct that was going to be like, oh, now here's an Echo Fighter. Here's this, and then we're going to move on to our next thing. Like, that was supposedly the big announcement for Smash Brothers in this Direct. And I was expecting like maybe, Skull Kid announced or something.
Well, put yourself in a non-Zelda fan's head, who's like, oh, Skull Kids, that was the big thing. Why did you waste my like? It's the same concept. This might not be a character you're excited for, but they had to do it this way because it was relevant to the game. If they were making a Zelda game, then Skull Kid, if he's in the game, would have been announced there. But I'm not a huge Animal Crossing fan. I'm happy that we finally are getting an Animal Crossing game. It's been, what, 5 years? It's time. That's a big franchise. It deserves a game, and it deserves at least two fighters in Smash.
I agree, it deserves a game, but that's just not my kind of announcement. I've
And that's fine. And we're going to get other big announcements. Yet again, the only thing to me that was disappointed. Now, we've talked about it. You don't have much to say on Animal Crossing, so we'll end it on two more things, okay?
okay.
The biggest disappointment here is that I was expecting a 2018 big game. I was expecting an Animal Crossing level game coming this year. It looks like we don't have one. It looks like Smash is the only huge game coming out this year. Or Smash and Pokemon, sorry. Which is fine. But I wanted something else. I wanted one other medium to big game. Do you agree or disagree? Do you think the lineup for the rest of the year is fine, or did you think they needed at least something more?
I definitely agree because you know what my expectations were for this direct. I think I got myself too high of expectations, and that's probably what was my downfall here.
Yeah. The last thing I will say, and this is with dread for me to say this, but I am now convinced that Bayonetta and uh, Metroid Prime 4 are 2020 games.
I saw that coming. I was expecting them at this direct, and like at
One,
least like a little thing.
even if they're not at this direct, that doesn't mean that they're not going to be 2019 games. You can wait till, like, remember, Smash Brothers was announced right before E3, and it's this year. The problem is we're getting the games we know we're getting is there's so many games, Yoshi, Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, to where I don't know if those games fit in. And I don't think we're going to get both of them next year. We might get one of them. But I do think one of those games will definitely be a 2020, if not both.
I would say Bayonetta 3 is more than likely going to be a 2019 game. It's probably time. But if you take a game like Yoshi, that game was announced at E3 2017, and that game isn't coming out until I believe next year, is it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so if they announce another big game, like I'm talking like huge, like something big, like a Nintendo super popular game series, they probably will not announce it until E3, and that'll probably be around a 2021, like early 2021 game.
Yep. So, any last thoughts? Any last things you want to comment on?
Just, I wish there was more.
Okay, and that's fair. So this was Goku48071
Larry,
and we'll see you next time, YouTube.
see ya.